Hey, welcome to the Thriving Minds podcast with your host, Walter Parada, where we strive to provide you with empowering talks so you can live to thrive. And today, we'll be talking about do the simple things better. When you can do simple things better, you help ensure that the bases of what you're doing are being covered. It's making sure you're doing the fundamental things that leads to great results. Sometimes consistently doing the simple things can be boring, that lead to mental shortcuts that cause you to come up short of what you're trying to achieve, as there's a tendency to miss some obvious things that lead to just simple errors. And this is especially true when you have done something for a long time or you advance into something more and you think it becomes automatic. And when that thinking comes about, it can cause you to lose focus on the simple things that need to get done. What the simple things include are the routine things in whatever it is you do. This could be tying your shoes to prevent stepping on them and tripping over them that might cause a significant injury, or typing in the wrong address in your GPS that causes you to be late for a big event that you had to attend, or it might be wiring somebody $10,000 when you meant for it to only be $1,000. So these simple things can be the difference for the things to go smoothly or for things to get totally out of whack. Many times the big things that we intend to pursue comes down to simplifying certain aspects of it so it becomes more digestible for us. If it is being seen as one big task, it can feel overwhelming and make you more inclined to not want to pursue it. But once you can see it in simple terms, it becomes a lot more manageable to take some sort of action towards it. So say you want to read a book a month and the average book is about 300 pages long. Initially, it can feel that that's quite a bit, but if you actually break it down on a daily basis, just reading 10 pages equates to one book a month. And thinking in terms of what needs to get done on a daily basis to reach that goal that you set for yourself becomes a lot more doable. And mentally, this doesn't feel like such a big, heavy weight on you. So reading these 10 pages daily doesn't all have to be done at one time. Maybe you read 5 pages in the morning and 5 pages in the evening. Or it could just be you read them at whatever time of the day, slowly taking the time to take 2 pages at a time whenever there's free time for you. So by doing this, it frees you mentally to take some sort of action as opposed to feeling the need to get these results, these big results in a short period of time. And with the steady reading of 10 pages daily, it allows you to better comprehend what you read that you can retain longer compared to if you read the book in one sitting, as you know, eventually fatigue is going to set in and this is going to cause you to lose focus towards the end. So by consuming it in small chunks, it gives you the ability to focus more of your time to do things soundly, as the breaks that you've given yourself is a chance to properly process what you read or what you've gone through. So being able to do these things more frequently in smaller increments builds a stronger repetition that strengthens the habits that you've built. And this forms a consistency of excellence, whereas doing things for long periods of time, when it's infrequently, will make it much harder to sustain. So when you can simplify things, it helps you to organize what action you will take. So the more choices you have, the more time is spent thinking over which one is best. So with so much information that you're trying to process, it slows down your effectiveness. While it can be good at times to have a lot of information, it could also impede you from taking action. So say you're at a store and you're looking for a blue shirt to buy, and there are over 30 types of blue to choose from. And so you're going to be more likely to go through each one and examine which one you really like. But eventually you'll get to the point where you just become fatigued by looking at all the different options. And towards the end, you'll probably just select one that is most convenient to you. But if you can simplify that type of blue of what you're looking for into a specific shade type, then you can eliminate all the other ones and maybe narrow it down to 3 types of blue. So this could be, hey, I'm looking for a more darker shade of blue, and I can eliminate more than half of them. This is going to help you save you time and use more of your energy to determine which one you like the most. So with more time, you're going to be more refreshed. That gives you a calm state of mind and be more satisfied with the choices you make. And as you can narrow things down, you can effectively use more of your time to focus on what you simplified. So we all have about 35,000 decisions that we make on a daily basis. And the less time spent on analyzing each one, the more effective we can be on the things that we choose to do. And this is going to help you to do the simple things better, because with more time, you allow yourself to refine the basic things that are going to produce great results. And this applies to every facet of our lives, whether it's the relationships we have, our health, the way we make a living, the way we handle our struggles. So if you do the simple things like communicate often in your relationship, the bond becomes stronger. So if you exercise and eat well-balanced meals, your health will improve. If you set a priority list for the week, your work efficiency can get better. Or if if you take a walk to clear your head with the things you're struggling with, it gives you time to process and handle it well. And doing simple things like this can have a great impact on the quality of your experiences, because they add up to massive results over time. And being able to consistently do the simple things better helps you refocus on the process of doing things as opposed to just focused on the results. So when your attention is on the process, you remember what it takes to produce the results that you want. So simply focusing on the results alone is not going to produce them. Just like when you're on a road trip, you know where your destination is, but you still have to drive and focus on navigating the road so you can get there. And the simple things that will help you get there are making sure you have your engine running correctly, your tires are properly inflated, you have enough fuel in your vehicle, you have 2 hands on the wheel, you're driving the proper speed, and your attention is on the road with all the cars around you to avoid an accident. Without any one of these simple things, there's a chance you're not going to reach where you're headed. Sometimes these things are taken for granted each time you reach where you're going. And everything starts off with the routine, fundamental, sound things that are the foundation to what makes the bigger things possible. So just like the foundation to a house, it's simple, but it must be done well so that all the other parts of the house can be put together. Without the proper foundation, the house will have a hard time properly being built and can lead to it eventually collapsing. So consistently doing the simple things better, the more you can build on it to sustain what you're doing. It gives you the ability to ascend into something much more, but without it, the fall you experience will be greater and much more painful. In keeping that perspective at the forefront, it's going to continuously bring clarity and a higher degree of level-headedness that helps you navigate the vast forest you're in. It's going to give you the skill to grasp the complexities so you know what exactly to pay attention to make things work. And many times, it is not the most exciting or the flashiest things that are sustainable. If you look at the company Coca-Cola, it is very simple, where they sell soda and they execute on every level, which includes their product, their delivery, their overall business, their PR. And because they have done the simple well, they have been thriving for 137 years. One of the ways to do simple things better is to focus on one thing at a time. And one way to do this is by eliminating distractions so you can remain committed to that one thing. With all the daily distractions all around us, our mind can jump from one thing to another, and it can take an average of 23 minutes and 15 seconds just to get back on task when we were interrupted by something else. In the workplace, there's about 2.5 to 3 hours worth of distractions, and this obviously disrupts the deep flow state that allows you to effectively perform at a high level. This is where your mind and your body are deeply immersed at the task at hand, and this usually comes from when you seek out challenges that push your limits, something you enjoy, and you're focused on the process and not the end result. And when you can get to this point, you become singularly focused that blocks out all the noise inside and out, and this brings you a greater sense of calmness and clarity. This is especially helpful during those times where the brain wants to awaken that self-doubt. And what's interesting about when self-doubt comes about is that now it's taken away some of your attention and your energy away from what you're actually supposed to be focused on. It can throw you off just enough to take your attention off the target, to look at the distraction, and then by the time you refocus your mind to that target, it's going to take a little while just to get back to where you were mentally. So say you have 2 cup holders worth of hot coffee in your hands and you're carrying it to the car. So your focus is going to be to balance the coffee well in your hands, but once self-doubt comes in, it can distract you and it can take your attention away just enough to make you wonder, hey, what if I drop this coffee and it spills all over? But then as you move past that self-doubt to refocus on keeping your hands balanced and steady, it can throw you off just enough for one hand to slip. So these distractions that come in can be just enough to throw you off balance and cause a mistake to happen. One thing to eliminate as you focus on one thing at a time is multitasking. So while multitasking can be tempting because it might seem like you're doing several things at one time, you're actually not, because you go back and forth from, let's say, reading an article to having a conversation with somebody else to eating all at the same time. So we all have a finite amount of energy, and when it's split up into several different things, it's not going to be split up evenly. So if you're trying to do all these 3 different things at one time, not one singular thing is going to get 100% of your time and energy. So as you switch back from one task to another, it's going to take those 23 minutes and 15 seconds to get back to where you previously left off on. And this can cause you to take more shortcuts that's going to lead to errors. And you're going to want to summarize things of potential details that are pivotal to what you're doing. And in the end, it's just going to make you more ineffective operating this way, as you're going to have to go back and fix those errors and actually take each task one at a time anyways. So to overcome this, even if you have 3 things that you know need to get done, it'd be a great idea just to focus on one at a time so you can completely devote all your time to getting it done, and then you can move on to the next one. This is going to help you give more of your time to catch potential errors and improve the overall quality of what you're doing. So as you get one thing done and move on to the next, it just continuously builds momentum of being singularly focused. And the more you can do this, the more you're sharpening that superpower that we all have of just focus. We become much more dialed in to what we're actually doing. Another way to do simple better is by speaking effectively. So since we know that our words are 10 times stronger than if we think it alone, and saying negative things out loud is 4 to 7 times more powerful than positivity, the words and the language you use are a predictor of what you will do, as it influences your behaviors. The more of whatever it is you choose to speak, you're bringing it into existence, because that is where you're putting your energy to. So the first thing that should be done is immediately stop saying negative things out loud. This is the most basic thing that will immediately yield massive results as it starts to drain the reserves of negativity. You want to prevent it from growing into something more to not distract you and weigh you down. And the words you use add up to the language you speak, and it affects how you experience the world. Beyond just using certain words, language and tone together can have a compounding effect on you. So as you use effective language that will propel you forward, the tone affects how much it resonates with you. While you don't have to shout what you really want to happen, you can state things with a close-ended tone that solidifies things. Have you ever noticed that just changing a few simple things in how you speak can make all the difference in how things play out? So say someone asks me, "Who am I?" And my response is, "I'm the speaker for the conference." They will probably say, "Are you asking me? Because it seems like you're not quite sure." But if my response is, "I am the speaker for the conference, I will start setting up," then their response will be, "Okay, this person knows what he's here for," and they'll probably offer their assistance. So by incorporating a few simple things to the language you use, like not stuttering, pausing prior to giving an answer, or eliminating filler words like you know what I mean, it gives you more conviction, and eventually it just exudes in everything you do. And in everything we do, we generally all have a routine that helps us get our day started, and this sets the tone for how we operate for that day. And in everything we do, we all have a routine that helps us get our day started, and this sets the tone for how we operate. So evaluate what is your routine and see if it's serving you. Is it helping you set in motion the action you need to take? If you're looking for ways to start off your day by doing simple better, try doing some sort of exercise to get your body moving, as this gets your mind to fire off on all the things that you want to get done. Some exercises that are helpful and really simple are squats, lunges, jumping jacks, push-ups, and these all require no equipment, and they're straightforward to do. And as you get into the rhythm of moving your body consistently, you get a boost of energy. It improves your cognitive ability, reduces your stress that you're going through. It increases your creativity, along with so many other benefits. I know for me, after a workout, it really opens up my breathing that relaxes me and gets me focused on what do I need to get done. It also just makes me feel good as my body and my mind become a bit more sharpened. So another great way to start off the day is by taking a cold shower to really shock you. This does an excellent job of just waking you up and becoming more alert. And I actually make this a daily habit every morning prior to my workout, as there are days where, I don't really feel like exercising, but that shock to my system gets me in the right frame of mind. So right away, that coldness that hits me just causes me to take these deep, profound breaths, and it instantly just makes me more alert, and it gives me a big boost of energy. This really propels me into wanting to just stay in motion. Or another way to get the day started is just to take time to be alone, be away from the TV, from the phone, the radio, and other people. And this is going to help organize your thoughts and figure out how you want to go about your day. Just taking the time to plan out or ponder what you want to accomplish allows you to see beyond the present and helps you develop visualizing so you know where you're going. Without developing the visualization, you become stuck in what you know. So having a routine to start off your day can make all the difference in what you actually want to get done. It makes you take the initiative that makes you shape your future. Half of the battle is figuring out what to do, while the other half is figuring out how to do it. So might as well take the time and figure out what you really want to get done. And this is going to help you stay in motion. And the things in motion tend to stay in motion. In whatever you do, just be intentional and move with purpose. This helps to create a sense of urgency that makes you follow suit. It doesn't mean you have to rush to get things done, but once you identify what you plan to do, you move to it with the drive. And some ways to move with purpose is to walk at a faster pace in whatever you do, as it makes everything about just diving into it and being in the offensive mode as opposed to just waiting for things to play out. And when you wait for things to play out, opportunity pass you by. Even the way your feet move dictates the pace that you set for yourself. So things like dragging your feet is literally a drag on what you're doing. It gives you the feeling that what you're doing or what you're about to do is uninteresting and unimportant. So you're just going to muddle your way through it. And when this happens, there is a tendency to muddle through your everyday activities, even if it's exciting. But the more you pick up your feet, the more it literally makes you pick up the pace in the things you do. So how well you go at the uninteresting and unimportant things, the better you will be at those things that you're more excited about. Another simple thing to do better is sitting and standing upright with your chest out, as this prevents slouching. So your physical form can influence how you feel. And the more you can be upright, the more your attitude will follow. And this is especially important to emphasize when things don't go your way, as this is going to uplift you when there's a tendency to make you feel down. So you have the ability to alter your attitude simply from your physical form and how you conduct yourself. And eventually your behaviors are going to follow your physical form. So be aware of what you're doing, how you stand, how you walk, how you hold your head, whether it's down, hold it up high, because it's really going to impact how you go about things. In all that you do, aim to simplify where you can, because that is where you get things going. So if you want to lose weight, just start off by cutting out sugar where you can and exercise daily. It doesn't have to be complicated, by counting calories in the food you eat and counting how many calories were burned when you exercise. This just clutters your thoughts and impedes the progress you want to make. So just start off, get going, and eventually you can build into something more. Or if you want to gain more knowledge or a certain skill, you don't need a certain test score or a certain certification to prove you're gaining more. Just go out there, read, do, and learn. And the more you do this and put this into practice, the more you get better. And once you can tear down the complications of things, you can begin to overcome that overwhelming feeling that keeps you from wanting to get better. This is not to say that things don't get complicated, but understanding things in simple form allows you to process less information so you can effectively take action and get better. It's about focusing on key things so you know what exactly to pay attention to. If you take catching a ball, for example, in its simplest form, it's about keeping your eye on the ball, opening your hands prior to catching it, and closing it once it touches your hand. While there are many other things involved, such as hand, finger, and height, arm placement, this can be too much if you're just, teaching someone how to catch or you're learning how to catch. Even people who know, professional athletes who actually catch a ball, they might be going through a funk, and many times they'll refocus on just the simple things involved, and it helps them get back to the basics. Many times losing sight of this can cause you to drift and take your attention away from what is really important. So if the things in your life are moving backwards, look at the simple things as a starting point and honestly ask yourself if they're slipping. Can you do them better? Look to what is suffering in your life and get back to the basics. Just do simple better. While it can hurt the ego to admit that you have fallen short because of your effort or the performance that was put out there. Being able to recognize this is a wake-up call to something bigger if it's not corrected. In the end, do the simple things better will improve what you're doing and experiencing. And this is translatable to everything in your life. I hope you all enjoyed this podcast. If you're interested in more about similar topics, check out thrivingminds.live. All right, until next time.